Hello, welcome to my sixth video diary. This is my final one for the unit, and today I'm going to be talking about our shoot the week that's just passed, which we looked at moral values and ethics. It's a pretty interesting shoot. We were made aware of different practices in different countries involving PR and getting I guess what you want to journalists into the paper or any other form of media. Looking at places like Russia and China, where it's culturally accepted to pay or bribe the uh, journalist in order to get coverage in your chosen media outlet. And in some other places, I can't remember where exactly, but I have written down that a bakshesh equals, or that's a bribe, and that's also commonplace in many other different countries in order to get or get their, in order for a PR firm or PR person to get their story into the mainstream media. We also looked at the idea of imperialism and relativism and universalism, which is a mixture of both imperialism and relativism. Imperialism is attempting to apply um, home country values in a country that is not your home country. Opposite of that is relativism, and then obviously combination of those two is universalism, which is probably the best sort of method to use when I guess trying to make your way in another country, and sort of observing their ethical sort of considerations and combining them with your own and sort of meeting halfway to sort of, I guess in a way, not disrespect the country in which you're operating's culture, but at the same time provide you with the feeling that you're sort of upholding ethical values that have come or that you feel are important to maintain in relationship with whoever, I guess. We also spoke, not too long, but we also sort of had a class discussion about the idea of um, a sort of a global ethical framework that would be in order to so a global ethical framework for PR. So across the board, everyone has a standard thing of ethics to look at, and I thought this was quite interesting because in my opinion, it would not be effective in the short term, at least. If anything, it would be a move towards possibly making some countries that us as Westerners deem sort of backwards in ethics, but at the same time, it would be sort of just moving back to that idea of imperialism and attempting to apply what's commonly accepted as Western form of ethics to other countries that aren't necessarily or do not necessarily have the same view on or same ethical practices as we do. Um, and it would just sort of be dominated by Western beliefs as I guess we see that um, the idea of bribing and all that sort of stuff and gifts for or favors for coverage is sort of unethical, whereas other countries, if that was deemed unethical in the global framework, they would be pretty put out of joint by it because it's something that they've just accepted, and it also brings the idea of the excuse me, ethics is sort of relative to um, the ethical environment that you're used to or brought up in. I mean, if, say, for example, I was living in Russia, I've lived in Russia my whole life, I wouldn't, I guess I wouldn't see anything wrong with sort of having to pay media outlet to get my story published. It's only because I've got a different perspective looking at from a sort of Australian Western point of view, where that's sort of frowned upon, or um, yeah, or sort of uh, yeah, frowned upon, I guess. Um, that's Yeah, I think it's a move towards a global ethical PR governing body or set of rules wouldn't um, be very effective at all, and it would just sort of um, yeah, I guess maybe cause more problems. Um, but it would be a good. It would, in the ideal world, I guess it would be. It would serve as a good framework for all PR organisations, and then sort of putting everything on a level playing field. But that's, I don't think, going to happen in my own, from my own point of view. So that concludes my final video diary for this unit. Overall, I thought it was a very good unit. Quite interesting. I enjoyed looking at the case studies each week and doing the readings and seeing how which company screwed up, and how, I guess it would be sort of hindsight 2020 Monday quarterbacking, whatever you want to call it. But just reading over what they did and identifying what they could have done to sort of fix it seemed quite easy. And if they had just done a few simple things, it'd be a lot easier for them to overcome. But yeah, it's been a good unit. I've enjoyed it, and yeah, I guess I'll, yeah, bye.